Coming up on this episode of KickCast, instructions on making delicious neighbors, a new way of learning how to type, and your last chance to get an iCEO. Ain't that right, Steve? So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the KickCast. As always, I am your host, Ktdata, and this is the show where we talk about Kickstarter projects and actually crowdfunding projects in general, and we get to look at some cool ones today. And boy, do we have some really interesting ones that are coming in today. But before we start that, I hope you guys enjoyed our last episode. It was a little bit different. You know, we had Steve from GameLaunched.com on the show and got a little insight into how a crowdfunding website goes around. So make sure you guys check them out if you haven't. Check out that last episode. Today we're back to our normal episodes. We got some news and we got some projects going on, and believe me, you will not want to miss out on some of these projects that we found today. One of them is actually from Laser Norm, one of our fans of the show, and well, let's just kind of jump into it. So of course, this is episode 15 right there. Make sure you guys go to ktdata.net if you want to check out any of these projects. They will be in there. So first off on the day, let's just get some news going. And Kickstarter announced a new way to discover projects called video mode. Now, you might notice that Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and a lot of these crowdfunding projects have something in common. The first one that is on, the first thing you see on most of these pages is a video or an image right there. What Kickstarter has now done in video mode is it's a full screen presentation where you can just go and click and watch the videos of live projects, every video of live projects on the website. So I like it because it gives you the ability to find more projects around, it gives you options where you can find more projects around the area that the project itself is based on. You can look at something entirely different if that video kind of didn't go with your flow on there, or you can pick more videos in the same category right there. It's kind of interesting where to find it. This is actually the blog post that kind of talks about it. But if you want to find it, you just got to hit on the Discover tab at the top of the page. Wait for that to load, and then you'll see on the right hand side in green, right in the corner, is this button right here called video mode. So when you click on it, it will actually load up a project right here, and it's playing a project. So you see all these overlays. So if I don't move my mouse, it disappears, and all you get to see is the video right there. And then when you move it again, you can either go into this project and explore it, or you can find another project. This one's located near San Francisco. So you can find more San Francisco projects, something entirely different, or find more projects in the sculpture category. So I really think it's awesome on there, and I think it's a great way to kind of discover more projects that you might not go into a lot of these categories. I know from personal experience preparing for this show that trying to find new projects is not the easiest thing. There's a lot of different projects out there, and you got to sort through all of them. But this is also, it brings up a good point. It's a great way to kind of discover things. But if you're gonna start your own crowdfunding project, especially on Kickstarter, this is a good thing to mention, is that having a video is almost quintessential. To have a video on your project, that's the first thing people actually look at, is what they watch the video. So having a video, one, is important, and having a good video is also important, because I've seen videos run 10 minutes long, doesn't get to the point, I'm like, and it kind of leaves a little bit of a bad first impression, because this video is going to be your first impression that a lot of people will see. So if you don't have one, they're like, especially if you're doing, if you're doing a movie project or a music project, you definitely should have a video that's demoing some of your music or some of the video skills that you have, so people have an idea on what to expect. It's almost like an audition tape in that kind of sense. So it kind of just tells you that if you're going to run a Kickstarter project, you should probably make a really good video. The nice thing about it is Kickstarter, they have a little school on how to make really good Kickstarter videos. And if you think that's a little over the top for you, there's probably somebody that you know, or you can hire somebody to help make your video awesome, or help film it too, because sometimes, you know, you want to be in front of the camera and to do all this stuff. And if you are doing that, please, I am begging you from the bottom of my heart, if you do that, please use proper mic techniques. The one thing that bugs me the most when I watch these videos is they're using the camera's built-in microphone or a room mic, and you can hear the echoes, and sometimes you barely can hear them because it's picking up all this background noise and stuff. And please don't skimp on audio. That's I think as important as having a video, period, in the first place. You know, people gotta understand you. And to be honest with you, people are more forgiving of bad video, but bad audio on there. So that's actually all the news I really have this time around for, you know, the world of crowdfunding. Lots of new projects always coming out, but, you know, news-wise, kind of teeters back and forth on there. So how about we jump into our first project right here? And it was submitted to us by LaserNorm, fan of the show. I always enjoy it when he brings in it. And it is called How to Cook Your Neighbor. So now you're probably going, KT, what in the world is this? So How to Cook Your Neighbor is the idea of this whole project is to make a coffee table book called How to Cook Your Neighbor. In there, it has kind of, you know, humorous ideas and recipes. This guy's apparently is a professional chef, and he, you know, makes up comical recipes on, you know, cannibalism, I guess. Has different little categories on the meat you can get, like the banker, the couch potato, the geek on there. Things like that on there. So, totally entire joke book, but what he wants to do is he wants to make a print version of this so you can actually have it on a coffee table book, because what's the point of making a coffee table book if you can't have it on a coffee table? He's looking to raise $5,000 to make this print version. He already has an ebook version that is actually already out, and you can get that on Blurb. So there. And so the one thing about this project, it's pretty straightforward and stuff, but I have a few qualms with this. Let me start off straight off before I tell you. Our rating system, of course, is back, track, or sack. On this one, I have to go straight to sack, you know, and it's not because of the content, you know, even though after you get past the title, the content's like, okay, sort of funny, but not really. But the reason I'm sacking this is just how he's laid out this project. It looks like he didn't put a lot of effort at all into making this project, which surprises me considering he's backed 25 different Kickstarter projects. And usually if you're familiar with the site, you kind of have a better feel on what works and what doesn't. And, you know, there's a lot of issues with this. One reason, we just barely talked about it. It's very important to have a video in your Kickstarter project, because that's the first thing people see. All we have is just a screen cap of probably the disclaimer that's in the book. And, you know, it's like I said, it's important to leave a good first impression, and that's not really leaving a good impression. The second thing that really killed me is if you read through this project, there are numerous grammar mistakes and spelling mistakes. And let's not forget, he's trying to sell a book. If you can't go back and punctuate properly or capitalize properly or spell words properly, and you're trying to get a book out, that really worries me. And you look at the layout of the book, it's an ugly looking book, I have to admit. I can actually cut to this, and, you know, he's using neon colors, and I don't even know what he's doing with the spacing of the words and everything. There's not even a lot of text on there, and he's trying to raise $5,000 on here. The images don't look like that great. They look almost like clip art or stock photo-y on there. And no, it's like you could have put a little bit more thought into the project. If you decided to make a book, you would at least, you know, try to do that. And there's very few details on the book itself. It's more kind of the story and setting up that feel. So, you know, something about it did not rub me the right way. It's like, okay, it's funny when you first hear about it, but after that, it just seems like a really lame book. And what else worries about me is the timeline that he has for this book. You know, he's already written it, so pretty much when he gets money, he just needs to go find a book printer or a distributor and get that rolling. But so it's supposed to end May 23rd, but the estimated delivery for the non-ebook versions is almost September to, actually not even September, looking at this now. Yeah, it looks like September or December is getting around there. And it worries me because he actually puts in his Kickstarter project that he's actually not even, he's traveling right now. And so he won't be able to start until he's back into, in LA. And he doesn't give you a timeline on when he's actually done in LA because supposedly the book's done. The originals are in a locker in Miami. He's right now in St. Martin on vacation. He's going to be working in Berlin, and once he gets back from that, he's going to be there. Yeah, seems, you know, there's 2 backers on there 22 days ago, but I cannot recommend at all to back this book. Like I said, it just doesn't seem as fleshed out, and there are probably many other projects out there where people have actually put a lot of time and effort into making sure the project looks good. Because remember, one thing you're doing is you're trying to get people to donate money to you. Even if you don't get a product, you got to leave a good impression. You got to know how to market. And the more I look at this, it looks like this guy is just like one of those people like, oh, if I just, you know, stick a project on Kickstarter, it's going to definitely make money, right? It's just like automatically I'll make money. Not quite so on there. And that's a really kind of, you know, it's you know, you got to work at it. You know, it's stressful when you're running a Kickstarter project or any kind of crowdfunding project, to be honest with you. So that is how to cook your neighbor. And then so let's go on to a little bit more some other projects that, in my opinion, they definitely put a lot more time and effort and thought into making this project look presentable, and it seems a little bit less fishy. So the first one we want to do is called Brightfingers. And Brightfingers is actually a combination of things. It's a keyboard, a glove set, and a software system that is designed to help kids, you know, adults too, to learn how to type. And you're probably looking at me, Kitty, what? Doesn't everybody already know how to type? No. It's not like you're born with the ability to type. Think all the way back when you first started using a computer. You probably remember how hard it was to type. What's cool about this system is the keyboard actually, when you're in the typing program, it will light up the correct keys that you need to press when you're actually running through that. And then on top of that, the keys are actually color-coded with the corresponding color that's on the glove. So you know which finger you need to use to actually press the correct key. That actually, you know, helps kind of train you and get muscle memories. Because remember, this is still it's almost like riding a bike. You got to get into the kind of habit of knowing which fingers to use. And the more you do it, the more dexterous you get and the more ability to control this. I think this is a awesome idea. It's a lot different from other ones because I've taken keyboarding classes back in my day, and some of them were like, oh, one, you're going to cover your keyboard. How's that going to help somebody brand new if they don't even know where the keys are? It's like, oh, from feel. Well, if you don't know where the keys are on the keyboard, how are you going to know where to move your finger from feel on there? That's another one. Other methods are just like, oh, just keep practicing. And then you've probably seen this, especially, you know, with younger kids or even your parents. I see this with my mom a lot where you're doing the keyboarding program and then, you know, they're doing the hunt and peck. Like, okay, so where's the A? And they're the T, right there, you know, and it takes, you know, if they learned how to type, it would go a lot faster like this. And they've actually done studies here where the traditional methods, you know, kids all the way up to like 4th grade are still typing like 15 words per minute, you know. Most proficient typers type at least 60 words per minute. And if you do a lot, like some of us, you get near the 100 words per minute range on there. Um, and I love the whole idea of changing this where, all right, I'm going to light up the key. And then on top of that, you're going to know what finger because the color is going to match with each other. And I love this idea. I want to see schools have this because it's a good change of pace. Everybody learns a little differently from other people. So some people might benefit from this. Other people might benefit from having the keys covered and whatnot. But I love how that, they also have an option for people who have iPads, because we know schools, a lot more schools now are starting to have iPads in their schools, and they'll be using them. They have a stretch goal to develop an iPad keyboard and software with that to help. So I love this whole idea and this different way of learning something that a lot of us kind of take for granted these days. So with Brightfingers, back Sacker Track, I have to definitely say back on this. I love the whole that you can tell this guy is totally focused on helping educate people learn how to type. And, I have a soft spot for teaching people how to type and learn how to use technology around them. Doesn't need to be exclusive. And I'm all for this. So this is definitely back on Brightfingers. All right. So for our final project right here, it is going to be Throwboy chat pillows. Now, you're going to be like, if you guys ever have followed me on Twitter, you've probably seen streams or even tours of the studio that I film everything in. You've probably seen this pillow right here, the Twit chat pillow right here. This is actually made by Throwboy. You can see the little thing right there. So his whole idea that Roberto actually is his name, and what he wants to do is take Throwboy to the next level. I thought, to be honest with you, I thought he's already past this level, but apparently not. So right now, he designs, sews, and ships every pillow by himself out of his apartment in Seattle. That's nuts. Like, if you've ever seen these pillows, he puts a lot of attention and detail into it. So if he's hand sewing all these, you look at some of the pillows, like on the Facebook pillows and stuff, the stitching on it is amazing. He puts details into that where normally a bigger company may be like, whatever, just do whatever. But if you look, he actually puts in that. I think I don't sew, so, but I think it's the stitching where you can get a little bit of the shading and whatnot. It's beautiful. You look at all the examples that he has, and you're like, whoa, these look pretty cool. I can actually show you some examples right here if I can find it. Maybe not. Where are those examples? Some of the famous things that he's made are, of course, the Mac OS X dock icons right there, the chat pillows, and things like the subscribe button and the like button. And you can just see how amazing the stitching is on those over there. And so what his goal for this project is what he wants to do is to make a production run of the top 3 best-selling chat pillows: his LOL pillow, the OMG, and the WTF pillow. And he wants to take it to the next level. I think he's making them bigger and fluffier, and higher quality, which he's set the bar high already. So he's going to take it to another higher quality. So they're going to measure around 12 inches by 12 inches, polyester fibers and super soft plush material, and 100% IRL, real life. They're actual pillows, you're not going to get a digital one on here. And one of the, actually I want to show you this, one of the reward tiers allows you to get an iCEO. Now, I was lucky to get one of these iCEOs. They're actually limited runs, and I was lucky enough to get this when he was first making them for the American Cancer Society as a fundraiser. And I have to say, the detail in this is amazing. When I got this, I'm like, holy crap. Some of the details is, if you look at the iCEO, those are actual glasses on there. They're not painted on. They're not, fabric glasses. They're actual glasses. He even has an actual rivet on his jeans, and even the shoes, he put details into it, like putting the Throwboy logo on there. So it's beautiful. This is your only chance to get them because they're limited runs, and he's running out of them. That's your only way of being able to get these pillows. And, he puts a lot of pride into this. This is not his first time. For the iCEO, he's already worked with a mass production company to make the iCEOs. I can imagine why, because there's a lot of detail and a lot of work to get something like that working. And plus, in general, if you ever follow Throwboy, at Throwboy on Twitter, you'll find out Roberto, he's a really, really cool guy. So when it comes out to back, sack, or track, I definitely say back. All right, so Laser Norm's mentioning that the website says the iCEO dolls are sold out. Yes, they are actually sold out. The only way to get an iCEO doll now is to actually back $100 or more on there. Wait, hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, $100 or more to get that. And those are the very last of the iCEO pillows right there. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm really tempted to just back to get this t-shirt. I don't know why, but I think this t-shirt is so awesome. Like, I think that's a wicked looking t-shirt. So I really think I want to get one of those on there. And plus, like I said, I want to help her out, Roberto. I love all his plushes that you're making. He has some Ninja Turtle ones and a Spider-Man one that I'm like, ooh, I need to get those. Maybe that's a birthday present for me or something like that. Huge fan of all his stuff. And he even made a Kickstarter icon one. I'm like, oh man, I want one of those. I don't know if Kickstarter will ever let him, you know, officially sell those, but if he does, I'm definitely getting one. And who knows, you know, maybe one day we'll get a KickCast Throwboy pillow. But I gotta say, that is one of the, you know, he kind of actually was looking for input and stuff. I'm like, ooh, I wanted to take a look, and I saw it. I'm like, ah, that's amazing on there. So definitely back for the Throwboy pillows, and you know, and that's actually all the projects we have. It's amazing how quick time flies when I'm actually doing these episodes, and you know, half an hour is just not a lot of time when it starts talking about crowdfunding projects, because you can tell that I love crowdfunding. I love the whole idea of crowdfunding and seeing all these unique ideas start coming out. If you guys have a crowdfunding project, or you know of a project that you want me to take a look at or feature on the show, please email me at kickcast@ktdata.net. If email's not your thing, you can also leave me a message on Facebook, on the page, facebook.com/kickcast, or send me a tweet, message me on Twitter at KickCast on there, or Google Plus. You know, we have Google Plus. Also, if you guys don't know, I record this show live. I stream it out, so you get all the raw live to hard drive stuff right there. And you know, you see the chat room. D-Max and Laser Norm are in there right now talking. So stop by the chat room. Come say hi to everybody, and you know, we can talk about these projects. And I do try to keep an eye on it in there. So you can find that at live.kickcast.net. Our actual next show is in 2 weeks, May 14th. So I hope to see you guys there on there. Also, if you missed any of these projects, you're like, wait, KT, you went way too fast, I don't know where to go find that project that you just mentioned, head on over to kickcast.net. Show notes are right there. Links to the projects, everything right there. Past episodes. You can explore the rest of the site, look at and see how ktdata.net is. We got a big streaming show from Saltfest coming up soon that will be in about a week or so-ish. And I hope you guys enjoy that too. But that's all I have for now, guys. Thank you guys for coming to listen. If you guys, you know, hopefully I'll get Drew on a future episode pretty soon. You know, I love having Drew on the show, so it's always a good time on there. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, D-Max and Laser Norm, for watching live. I love getting input, and I'm surprised that anybody watches this. You know, it's just some guy blabbering on about crowdfunding projects. So I enjoy that, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. So till later, guys. Bye. Coming up on this episode of the KickCast, I should remember what I record, right?